And so that's when I kind of pivoted and said, oh, these are people who need my help and they're willing and able to accept it and they're willing to take action. So I can make somebody a millionaire. It's going to take me 10 years. Most people won't show up to learn that. They all want to go to the guy who's going to do it this weekend. And he's going to get rich this weekend. You're not. It's just the way it works.
The following is brought to you by Thryv, the end-to-end client experience platform that helps you get the job, manage the job, and get credit.
Hey, this is Gordon Henry at Winning on Main Street, and this week we get to meet Rocky Lalvani. Welcome, Rocky.
Thank you so much for having me, Gordon. Excited to be here today.
Great to have you with us. So brief intro on Rocky before we get started. Rocky will take your business and make you profitable. He is a profit-first professional. We're going to get into what that means, but he instills the profit-first formula, so over time, you can make your business become profitable. It's about running your business so you get paid first, taking your profit first while also covering your expenses like payroll and taxes. You know, you may be one of the millions of small business owners who go to work only to realize later that you're making little to no profit. Rocky's mission is to work with you to solve that. He's also got an amazing personal journey. He started with nothing, immigrated at age 2 when his parents were in their 40s. And sadly, his mother died when Rocky was just 7 years old, but he went on to become a self-made multi-millionaire. That's the backdrop for why he's able to help you make your business profitable. And a little bit more about Rocky: he hosts the podcast Richer Soul and Profit Answer Man, and runs his Profit First consulting business from his hometown of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Tell us in your words, what is the Profit First system?
So let's take a half a step back. I was doing somewhere along this way, I was like, okay, I want out of the corporate. I want to go build a business. I spent a lot of time learning, trying to help people with their financials. And along that journey, I found out, as Warren Buffett says, nobody wants to get rich slowly. Everyone wants to get rich overnight, right? And that doesn't work. And then along that journey of learning about people, their money scripts, and how they do things, I came across this concept that business owners didn't understand their financials. And I'm like, but what do you mean? How is this possible? You're a business owner. You're supposed to understand the business of business. And then it dawned on me, and it was explained to me that people go into business to do what they love, and accounting usually isn't at the top of their list. And so that's when I kind of pivoted and said, oh, these are people who need my help, and they're willing and able to accept it, and they're willing to take action. So I can make somebody a millionaire. It's going to take me 10 years. Most people won't show up to learn that. They all want to go to the guy who's going to do it this weekend. And he's going to get rich this weekend. You're not. It's just the way it works. So Profit First is basically what I did. Profit First is it's a system to give your money a job. Essentially, if you think about it, this is the way we taught our kids about money. We go, here's your allowance. You get one envelope, and in that envelope, you put money to spend. In another envelope, you put money to save. In another envelope, you put money to give. And so this is how you live life. All Mike did was take this same concept and say, hey, as a business owner, you have this much money coming in. We'll put that in one envelope, right? Then every time you look at that envelope, you know how much came in since the last time you emptied the envelope. And then take the money out of the envelope and put some of the money for profit. And profit has to come first, because profit is not a habit, or it's not an event, it's a habit. So let's make profit a habit. It's not something, oh, my business is going to be profitable when I'm at 7 figures. Oh, I'm going to make a profit when I sell it. You should make a profit from day one. So take a small percentage, put it in the profit envelope. Then you deserve to get paid. You're the one who took the risk. You're the one who's working crazy hours. You're the one who shows up when you're sick and you're tired and everything else. Why aren't you getting paid first? So put the money aside for your pay. Then there is that evil thing called the IRS. You got to pay taxes. Put the money aside for taxes and the tax. And then the last thing is, this is truly how much you have left to spend in your business. And I think what happens for most business owners is they see a big pile of money because they have one bank account full of money and they spend it. And then they go, oh, I forgot to pay myself. No wonder I'm not profitable. Tax time comes around and well, we're recording just about a tax day. Hey, congratulations, you were profitable. You owe the government this much money. And the two answers are always, where is that money? And how am I supposed to pay that tax bill? Right? It's an anxiety time for most business owners because up until this time, for a lot of them, they don't know if they're profitable. They don't know how profitable, and they don't have money saved for taxes. And so the system that Mike created, instead of envelopes, uses bank accounts. It allocates your money with a purpose on a fixed percentage. And then you just go about running your business like you do. And when you look at your bank account, you look at your operating account, you will look and see how much money you truly have to spend after you've covered what you should have covered.
So you've started this, you said when you were beginning your financial coaching career, you realized that people wanted to make money overnight, not over the long term. And so you were getting resistance. With this new system, do you find business owners are excited about it? And I guess you found that business owners really need the help, that they're not good with money, right? That even though they love whatever it is they do, fixing bikes, making pizza, they're bad with the money. So has this been lucrative for you? And is this something business owners have really adopted eagerly?
So let's face it, people are bad with money, right? We don't teach money in school. We don't teach how to build wealth in school. I have an MBA and a Bachelor of Science in Economics, right? They didn't teach me how to build wealth. They don't teach your CPA how to build wealth, right? They don't even understand half of these concepts. So people are people. The difference between a business owner and a person is a business owner understands the return on their investment in their business. And so they are willing to take action and they are willing to put money behind their action because they know it will return money to them. And so that's where I think business owners are different than people. They're much more willing to take action. That's why there's so few people who are willing to open a business. Both, you're the type of people who do this. Because of that, yeah, it's been a lot more lucrative because they see the returns of what a difference it makes. If you're running a business, you're doing $500,000 a year, and we can make a 10% swing that you get to keep 10% more, that's $50,000. So that is a big difference. Now, here's the thing. You don't need me to do this, right? Go buy Mike's book. I don't make a penny off of it. Go buy the book and implement it. The problem is most people struggle. There's a lot of emotions behind money. There's a lot of things, oh, math is hard, or people don't have discipline. It's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you've got a trainer and a dietitian standing on top of you, handing your food and saying one more rep, you're going to get more success. And that's what I provide for people. And that's a big part of it. But you can do this yourself. There's absolutely no reason that you can't. And it's everything that I do is laid out in the book. And on top of that, we teach it on the podcast. We give everything away for free. There's no hidden secrets here.
Interesting. So at the end of the day, Profit First is really a system for managing cash flow, I guess. I've heard you talk about something called Parkinson's law. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So Parkinson's law is very simple, and it applies to all parts of life. So when you can find a universal law, it's important to utilize it as much as possible. And so what Parkinson's law says, if we can constrain ourselves, we will find a way to use less resources and to be more resourceful. So by taking the big bank account and turning it into a small bank account, you as a business owner will figure out how to run your business on that because you are resourceful. It's just like lifestyle creep. You hear all these people, they make more and more money, and yet somehow they don't have any more. It's because they're letting Parkinson's law take over. The more you have, the more you spend, the more you use. It's by creating that constraint is how you do it. And, the opposite comes through too. If you say to your people, hey, I need this done in an hour, they'll get it done in an hour, won't they? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. Put the constraints and procedures in to figure out how to get it done faster and for less money, and go about and implement it.
How do you manage your money? I've heard you say it's about discipline and cash flow. Most business owners, I guess, because they didn't have this orientation, are maybe they love what they're doing, but they're undisciplined. So you're able, by setting up this system, to actually teach them discipline so they behave differently. Is that right? You're actually changing their behavior.
You are changing the behavior to some extent, but at some extent, you're leveraging their bad behavior. So here's the thing. The reality is most business owners are not looking at QuickBooks to see what's going on. They are not running reports. Hopefully, they're even using an accounting software, right? Hopefully, they've got their money segregated in their business from their personal so that they've got clarity of what's going on. What most business owners do is they log into their bank account and they see how much money they have. And then they make a decision, right? If I have money, life is good, I spend it. If I don't have money, I go out and I sell, or I go do collections. And so we're not telling business owners to do that any differently. What we're doing is we're using Parkinson's law to show them less money, which incentivizes them to go sell some more, or to say, I have no money, I can't buy that today, right? I'm going to have to figure out another way to do this. So this is literally about cost constraints. But this, and I say this, Profit First is what we call level 1. And he gets a little bit into level 2 in the book, but we really don't dig into the level 2 of business finance. So one of the things they talk about in the book is to actually go through every single expense and ask yourself, is it necessary? I can't tell you how many stories I've heard of people, especially the techie guys, right? We sign up for this software and that software, the free trial for this, the free trial for that. And then we don't pay attention to the books. And the next thing you know, we've got $1,000 a month for software that nobody's used in 3 years. So go through and figure that out. The second thing is, hey, some of these companies aren't so nice. Your contract ends, they don't tell you when they double your price. Go through and look at it and go, hey, is this a reasonable price for my cable or my phone and all these other services that I'm paying for?
Sure.
Or are there new plans or better ways of doing this? So part of it is cost constraint, and even looking at your employees. Are your employees providing value? How much value do they provide? And is there a better way to do this? Most businesses, there is always somebody in the organization that you were supposed to get rid of a long time ago that you just haven't dealt with. And that's literally money out of your bottom line. And it's money out of your bottom line twofold, because A, you're paying them, but B, they're creating an atmosphere in your office and with your clients that is costing you even more. And it's a hidden cost, so you don't see it. So I think a big part of it is taking the time to do that. And then the other part of it is pricing, right? A lot of people in the service business are so afraid to raise their pricing. Guess what? Gas prices doubled. Inflation's here. You better start getting serious about making sure your pricing is covering your costs and your time. If it's not, then you need to have the courage. And that's part of what I do for my clients is I can look at them and go, you have a pricing problem, right? You're underpricing yourself to market. Let's not be the cheapest guy. Let's be the most expensive guy or gal in the market. There are people who want that, believe it or not. It's a pricing problem. It's not understanding the inputs and all the costs that go into what it actually costs you to do something. So we talked about the mulch example. Landscaper says, oh, how do I price my mulch? Well, I looked around and 4 guys charge this, so I'm going to charge that. But if you actually take the time to say, how much does the mulch cost? How much does it cost to lay it? What's the truck cost to pick it up and deliver it? you start to realize you're losing money on mulch. Either get out of the mulch business and say, hey, I got a mulch guy for you, and make a deal with him to give you a small referral fee, and go do where you can make your highest profitable business, or change your pricing. So a lot of that is kind of the more advanced type of stuff that goes on with Profit First. The first step is just getting your money to at least flow and getting comfortable with talking about it, with looking at it. And when you've got a little bit of breathing room, then we can start to get to these higher level discussions and start to do the next step and make better decisions.
Okay, that's great. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go away. And we're going to be back in 30 seconds with more from Rocky Lalvani. And when we come back, I want to talk about how the small business actually gets started working with you, so they can really have in their head what this journey is going to look like. Be right back.
Hello, fellow podcast lovers. Danielle Hayden here. I wanted to kindly interrupt your time to personally invite you to pop over to kickstartaccountinginc.com/getting started to book a strategy call with your Kickstart Accounting team. If you're working to release money blocks so that you can step into your power and purpose, then this is the right place for you. We're all here waiting to help you to get organized and understand the impact that having regular financial statements will have on your money mindset. The Kickstart team is here eagerly waiting to help empower you. Don't delay, take action right away and start to build momentum. kickstartaccountinginc.com/getting started.
We're back with Rocky Lalvani, Profit First System. And what I wanted to ask you, Rocky, you've done a fantastic job explaining the benefits of this Profit First System and how working with you can pay off for a business owner. Someone listens to this and says, I got to do this. And they go to your website and book you or call you. What is it actually like getting started? What do they actually do with you, or what do you do with them?
So the first thing we do, they book an appointment with me. We sit and we chat, and I get to understand who they are, what their concerns are, and what's going on in their business. Then the next thing that we do is I ask them to share with me their accounting. So if it's QuickBooks or whatever, they can share access, where they can send me their reports. And then what I do is I take a look at their business and I look at their financials. And the question I have to ask myself is, what are their overlying issues? And so we'll come back and we'll have a meeting. I'll share with them their overlying issues, what things I just see right off of the top that they can do to make a difference. And then the other thing that I determine is, does it make sense to work with me? Because if I can't deliver enough value for my fees, I don't want you to pay me, right? I will give you, in that call that we have, I'll say, hey, this is what I think your next steps are. Go do these next steps and grow your business, or do these things, and then come back and chat with me and we'll see it. Sometimes we'll come up with some kind of a special project, and we'll do something depending on the business owner. Not every business is for me. At the end of the day, they have to have enough revenue that it makes sense for them to make an investment in me. I mean, that's the end of the day. And I tell my clients that if I can't make you profitable for a multiple of what, your investment in me is, it's just not worth doing. You're wasting your time and your effort. And so we're very, very focused on making sure it is a profitable and wise decision for them.
Last question, Rocky. Second to last question. What do you do for fun outside of work?
Well, for probably the last 20 years, it was being a dad, but now both my kids are gone off to college and launching life. And so I've had to start new hobbies. So the latest one is I took up karate. So that's been interesting, a little scary, especially, with all these black belts on there. You got to learn how they do things, but it's been fun. And part of that is also I'm getting older, and I look at people 20 years ahead of me and I go, which ones do I want to be like? And what do I need to do today to end up like that? So it's about strength and flexibility. And it's not about trying to beat up people on the street, because I can't do that.
Good stuff. And last question, for people who do want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to find you?
So before I answer that, for all of you listening, if you like Gordon's show, would you do him a favor? Would you hit the like button? Would you share the podcast? Would you tell other people about it? Right? There's other business owners who can benefit from this. And Gordon would really appreciate that.
Amen, brother.
Amen, brother. You can find me at, my website is called Profit Comes First. The website, or the podcast where we teach all about this, is Profit Answer Man. And that's where you'll find out about that. And then once you make the money, if you want to learn about the fact that the money isn't going to make you happy and how to live the ultimate life, we talk a lot more about that and how to be a great business leader on Rich Your Soul.
Well, this has been an awesome conversation. Learned a lot. And I got to say, a guy named Rocky who knows karate and judo, that's starting to come together for me now. You know, it sounds tough.
It wasn't boxing.
It wasn't boxing. Well, Rocky, great to have you on the show. And as Rocky was just saying, if you enjoyed this podcast, please tell a friend or colleague to subscribe, and please leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. Until next week, make it a great week.